All right, I want to give a little extended lesson. I've been exploring some jump blues lately in the key of G. I've been working off of a G7th chord, which if you look at a bar chord, the G bar chord here, here's my hand, and you just remove the pinky finger, it looks like that. It's a G7th. And you can get a lot of mileage out of this, but what I've been doing is I've been basically punching that G7th and then doing little licks off of it. So rather than do a short hit it and quit it, which I've been doing, I wanted to give you an extended, deep dive into it. So I'm going to show you 2 or 3, I don't want to get too carried away, but I want to show you 2 or 3 licks that you could use, blues you can use in this format. So what I'm doing is I'm punching the G, and I'll just give you an example I'll just play a few off the cuff licks. There's so many. So I'm just gonna show you the ones that are popping up in my brain here as we're sitting here. The first one is I did a hit it and quit it, but it's So what I'm doing is I'm starting out with that D note. I'm going from the 3rd to the 5 on the B, then 3 on the E, high E. And then I take that 5th fret on the high E and I bend it a little, half step, back to it. Slow motion would be. So here's the whole lick in real slow motion. Somebody's working on their yard out there. Slow. Got it? Okay, now here's what it sounds like with the punched G7th chord. You notice how I staggered the phrase a little? Second part I went. The first one I hit it twice, I went. Rhythmic. Now that one there was a kind of a 2-string double stop, you could call that. I'm bending the G and the B from the 5th fret. I'm not stretching it very far. Just a little bit. Then I'm hammering on the 4th fret from the 3rd to the 4th on the G, which, by the way, I'm using a lot in the kind of process of this whole G thing. And if you break it down to just the rhythm, and I've shown you this before, it's subtle, but you'll notice I'm hammering on. Get it? So when I'm hitting that G7th chord, it sounds like that if I just hit that. If I hammer on from the 3rd to the 4th at the same time I'm hitting it, it gets this sound, which I know you've heard before, right? It's sort of like an uptown swing blues thing. If I just hit it straight, that's fine. But if I hammer on, that's pretty cool. So what I'm doing is I'm working off that kind of blues box, going major to minor. So there's your minor, major. Major 3rd, right? To the minor 3rd. And that's one way to look at any kind of blues. If you vary between the major and minor scales within the context of a change, I'll show you what I mean. So I'm kind of major there. flattening that third. And that's a pretty simple explanation for how to mark changes in the blues. You know, you go from to, and it's going to give you enough variation where you sense a change coming. So if I'm in the key of G major, I'm hitting a major lick, and I'm staying at major, because there's your major third. And then when I go to the fourth chord, which is in this case a C9, I might go to a minor. And back to a major. Minor. Now that rhythm right there is kind of cool. I'm mostly, you know, sometimes when I teach these lessons, I think, you know, I'm just going to play what I feel and then, you know, see what pops up and then I'll share it with you. So in this case, I just did this, which is, I realized is pretty cool. So what I'm doing there is I'm starting out with that target note, target chord, I should say. So that's the one I just showed you. Now what I'm doing is I'm hitting a C form, but I'm hitting the low G first. And going back to it. So it looks simple, but it's deceivingly rhythmically complex because it gets this going. You jump out, you stab it. Get that? So I'm coming down to that low G note, and hitting that C form, which is nothing more than I'm just hitting the three strings, the D, the G, and the B. So these are all partials, so it's muddy waters. All that stuff really counts especially in the Chicago blues style. Now I'm doing it on acoustic. I could do it on electric, but I thought, no, let's do it on acoustic today. This has got a little reverb on it, this guitar sound. So I'm just going to now run through what I just showed you, and I'm going to give you just sort of how it all fits together. So something like this. You might start out with just a rhythm, maybe to the 4 chord. Real simple, and then back to the 1. And we go to a D9, and then chromatically walk it down. And then back to that root chord. Now I'm going to do some licks in there. So I'll go, yeah. Now I'm going to go to the minor. Back to major. Chromatic. That was a little 7th lick. And I bent it a little. So that's the 5 on the B and the 6 on the E. Sting it though. Well, stray cats, right? So there's an example of some choices, you know, from major to minor, or just little, you know, I call them vocabulary licks, little licks that you can put in your, you know, in your quiver and then pull out whenever you want to. That one always works for me. Just there's certain licks that just really, you know. So So if you like that kind of stuff, I got a ton of acoustic blues on at jimmydillon.com. Hit me up down there, and we'll take you to deep dive into all that cool stuff. All right. Thanks for coming by today. I'll see you down the road.